Good morning. I want to talk today about the cost of a bad diet. There are different costs. I'm not for sure whether I'm going to do this all in one and just kind of go over stuff or if I'm going to make this a series. I don't know yet. We'll see where it goes. I get rambling and who knows. Anyway, it it's the one thing that's really been apparent to me is just the cost. And in this day and age, cost is big. Um, let's look at the financial cost. I was flabbergasted when I saw what the cost of diabetes is nationwide. Two, if I get this number right, it's in the ballpark. $264 billion annually is spent on diabetes. That's nuts. Right now, and that's just in America. Right now, with our deficits, and I mean, imagine if we can get our diet right, then what our government can do with the $264 billion. It'd be amazing. I mean, we're spending more on diabetes than what we are the homeless. Our veterans are doing without because money is real. It's finite. It's not infinite. Just because it's a government does not mean it has an infinite amount of money at its disposal. Anyway, so they're always looking at ways to cut budget because we're in multiple trillions of dollars debt wise. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's astronomical. So if we look at the cost of it, and I'm not even going to go into the governmental cost because that can go political really fast, and I really don't want this whole thing to be about politics. This is about personal choice, about personal lifestyle. It's about individualism. It's about spoiling yourself and loving yourself. That's what this is about. This is about being motivated to be the best you that you can be. So let's look at the individual costs. Yesterday I had a doctor's appointment. Now since when was it? I was in the hospital 2016. So about 2.5 years ago. I had such a major anxiety attack that they were going to fly me to Wichita thinking it was heart. I was living, as I mentioned before, living off of Sprites, my breaded, fattening food, French fries. I was working at the bar, Fritos and ranch dressing, and very, very high carbohydrate, very unhealthy fat with the fryer oils, and I used the um, economic brand, which was soybean, and that we're learning is not a very good oil to fry in or to ingest into your body because of the um, omega-6 acid or fatty acids. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. So yeah, they billed my insurance, and I was stuck with $1,500 worth of hospital bills, and that started my doctor's visits and the medications, and I mean for 2.5 years, and in reality, even before that, I should have went to the doctor more, and I didn't. So I at that time started going to the doctor every once a month for a few years. Now look at that cost. I had an anti-anxiety pill, which he told me can be addictive, has some pretty horrible effects if you get addicted and if you stop automatically. Is it logical to put something in your body that is not ultimately going to be healthy for the long run? Introducing Snazzy. Say hello, Snazzy, my cute cat. Anyway, so and he also put me on a heart medication and an antidepressant. So right there, 3 different medications. I noticed that, I didn't take the antidepressants. I didn't want to. So I hung on to the anti-anxiety pills and I started taking the heart medication, but it wasn't doing any good. My heart rate was still, like multiple times a week, daily, basically. It would race up to 150 to 200 beats per minute. And I take a pill. Then I told the doctor, I don't think it's the heart. I think it's anxiety and depression. So I stopped taking the heart medicine and started taking antidepressants, and it stopped. So that pretty much told me that this was heart, or not heart, but depression, anxiety. So because of that, now I'm buying antidepressants. You take them for a while, and then you have to take 2. You have to take more after time. So doctor's visits. Now at that time, our copay was $25, so $25 a month. And then the medication was $30 a piece, so about $90 a month, just to function. Then after about a year or so, he changed my antidepressants, thinking maybe that would help with the sugar cravings and food cravings. He put me on one that made me angry. I don't like to be angry. Everyone, I'll stuff it until I explode. I'm that type of person. I just flat don't want to be ugly. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be grumpy. I don't like it. To me, that's not cute. People that look to be angry or look for every excuse to be angry, to me, I just do not be around those people. They're not cute. They're not fun. They're not entertaining, and they look stupid. So, I don't like that. So when I took this medication and instantly grew fangs and developed the deep roar, rumble, growl that you hear a wild animal make right before they eat you, I told him, I'm not taking that. I'm not going to be that type of person. So obviously this didn't work for me. And he talked me into, so I stopped. A couple months later, he talked me into trying it again, gave me a lower dose of the same medicine, and I'm like, okay. He said, will you try? Yeah, I'll try. I will try anything at this point. Now keep in mind, I'm still going to the doctor every month. And so I started this medication again, and I cried constantly. My cheeks were raw from the tears. And I sat down one day and I wrote him a 3-page letter explaining myself and inviting him to choose which orifice he would like to put those pills, because I will not be putting them in my body again. Now, I did come to my senses. That was part of the anger thing that I don't like. So I come to my senses and I put that letter. It felt good to write it down, and I put it in my fireplace and burned it. He didn't have to endure that 3-page butt chewing letter. Thank you, Jesus, for a bit of wisdom there. But I did tell him. I told him that I wrote the letter, and I told him that I burnt the letter, but I told him I handed him the pills, and I said, now, the brunt of this letter was, stick these. I don't care where, but they're not going to my body again. So we went back to the other antidepressants, or tried me on another one, and they worked. That was about January. I told him I'm going to set up an appointment for therapist because this is not working. I'm not happy. I'm miserable. I can't function. I can't get out of the recliner. I don't even want to get out of the recliner. It's just, now I did not tell him at the time, and I didn't even tell him yesterday when I was talking to him. I did not ever tell him or my therapist that I did have a suicide plan. I did. I didn't implement it because, I keep hanging on to hope that there's light on the other side, and that just because I'm in a tunnel and I see light doesn't necessarily mean it's the train coming. Sometimes it is the end of the darkness. So I was hanging on to that. And so I did not implement my suicide plan, but I did create one. I hung on to the fact that I have 4 absolutely beautiful children and now 6 grandchildren that I love them dearly and they love me. And I knew that I did not want to create that hurt in them. I knew that my parents would not be able to, they'd be able to survive it because, well, they're strong people, but I did not want to create that hurt in them. And it was my love for other people that kept me from implementing my plan. But I had one because I was in such a dark place. I had a plan. So now we're talking, we weren't talking about depression and suicide here. We're talking about the cost of an unhealthy eating plan, of the high carbohydrates, of the sugar, of the unhealthy fats, what it cost me. So now add to the cost, therapist. And at first, for the first few months, I went every 2 weeks. Diagnosis, major depressive disorder. Cost. Doctor increased my antidepressants, so I was taking 2 a day. Had my anti-anxiety pills to take, the ones that have not good side effects and you can get addicted to, but keep them, kind of keep them, because you don't want to implement your plan. Now I'm going to 2 doctors. Now, for some reason, the therapist never coded the insurance stuff correctly. So it was, I think, what did JR say? $125 a visit. From January to May, or January till a couple months ago when I stopped going, we spent over $1,000 on therapists, plus the $90 a month of medication, plus the copay until we changed insurance, and then my doctor started seeing me every 3 months instead of every month. Once I started seeing therapists, he cut it back to every 3 months. So, but it wasn't a $25 copay at that time. It was every dime of every minute of the office visit went towards my deductible. It turned into a high deductible plan. So from January until now, I could easily say, because I didn't really keep good track of it, I could easily say we spent about $3,000 and just mental and medical to keep me here. Nothing, no diabetes, so I didn't have that expense. Those that do, the website, I think it was WebMD, I think is where I saw the number, or I go through a lot of websites. I'm looking at this stuff pretty often. I'm thinking they're saying that the average person with diabetes spends about $12,000 a year out of pocket expense for their testing strips, their medication, their doctor's visits, and then there's the lost work. The productivity goes down. Thankfully, I didn't have that, because then that would have been $15,000 that we would have spent because of my bad diet. I am now on no medication. I have totally shredded that plan. I no longer have an exit plan for my life. Instead, I have hopes, dreams, and goals. I have a living plan, not an exit plan, not a dying plan. I went to the doctor yesterday. He did some blood work, and I'll get the results in the mail. They're going to mail me a report, and I may share those with you. I don't know. No. If you're like me, they might just go over your head, but I want to see them, and we'll share them. But blood pressure, 117/72. Really, that's nice. Weight, 17 pounds down from my last visit. Heart rhythm, perfectly normal. No anxiety, no rapid heartbeats. Everything is great and good. And I asked him, I said, so when do you want to see me again? He said, a year. A year. Not in the next month, not in 3 months, 12 months. Now, instead of having 12 doctor's visits a year, I have one. Therapist, I canceled my last appointment. I told him, I said, let's just go PRN. If something major happens and I need help getting through it, I'll give you a call. So instead of $125 a visit now, $125, I got down to where I was going once a month. So instead of $125 once a month, every month, the money's saved. I am now able to take the money that I was spending for my medical and my health just to try to keep on top of a bad diet. I was able to take that money, and now I have a dentist, and I'm going to get my broken tooth up front fixed. And it's not going to cost me near as much as I was spending before. Now I'll be able to smile with pride as soon as we get there. A little fear going on there with the whole needles and root canals and some of the other stuff. Part of this expense for the dental goes back to the bad diet. She explained to me that the acid reflux that I had mentioned that I had so bad that I no longer have, or very rarely have, has caused decay to my teeth and gum line. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if you have a mouthful of acid, what's it going to do? It's going to chew stuff up. And so now I have that repair bill, but that's okay. She can fix it and I'll be fine. And once that's done, then my cost $25 every 6 months for cleaning. Dentist or insurance covers everything. I pay $25. The money that I will be saving, that I am currently saving by going healthy eating, and for me it's low carb, very much low carb, is so beneficial that I can't understand why I haven't done it before. You hear a lot of people talk about on payday, I'll start my diet. And they talk about these big shopping trips. Oh, I got to go shopping before I start my diet. The beautiful thing about the ketogenic diet is you don't need to. You do not need to buy anything to do this. Yes, there are products to buy if you choose. You can buy a glucometer to check your blood sugars, and and I've got one here. I don't use it. It's JR's because he's diabetic. Can't get that boy on board, but we're working on him. Yeah, okay. Um, you can buy a ketone um, measuring device. You can either buy the urine strips, or you can buy the blood ketone monitor and strips. I didn't. I don't. I don't poke myself. I don't check my ketone levels or anything. I just eat right. You can buy keto coffees, and some of them I've heard are very good, very tasty. I've not bought any. I just make my own. So I mean, really, there's the only thing that you would need to buy if you were going to shop to start is butter. If you're usually use margarine, you want to get rid of your margarine and buy butter. And yes, the butter is a little more expensive than the margarine. Okay, I get that. But you're offsetting the cost because you're not buying bread. You want to make sure you have eggs and bacon. Everyone knows bacon and eggs is fairly inexpensive. You want to make sure you have hamburger meat. I like hot dogs. I love hot dogs. So I buy the Nathan's or the Oscar Myers all natural hot dogs, all beef. That's my preference. And then you start. It's not a matter of what you eat, it's a matter of what you don't eat. And I have saved over $200 a month in just my medical and just staying healthy. And now I'm going to take those months and I'm going to spread them out over years and see exactly how much I save. Not only that, when you're not eating right and you're overweight, you hurt. So you have more aspirin, Aleve, painkillers that tear up your stomach. So, that's probably part of the reason for my GERD is all the aspirin and stuff I would take, which Tylenol kills your liver too. It's not good for your body to take that stuff. It's not good for your wallet to buy it. It's not good for your body to take it. When you get your diet right, you don't need to take it. You saved your health and you saved your budget. The cost of an inappropriate diet is astronomical. It truly, truly is. My grocery bill for food. Now, granted, I get to Sam's and I buy a lot of stuff that's not food because, hey, I save so much money on food. Let's buy new towels. Let's buy a new shirt. Let's buy, a new toy for the dog. But my food bill has reduced by a couple $100 a month because I don't buy the chips and the crap. I don't buy the potatoes and I don't buy fruit and I don't buy crap. And that saves money. So now when you think about it, I've saved $200 a month on groceries because we go every 2 weeks. So $200 a month on groceries, $200 a month on medical. I've saved $400 a month by getting my diet right. So if you're on a budget and you say it's just cheaper to eat this way, I can't afford to diet because healthy food's more expensive. $400 a month saved by cleaning up my diet. How can you afford not to? I don't have to join any clubs. I don't join any meetings. I don't buy any products. That's a choice. And I choose not to because I'd rather use my money to buy a new shirt. I'd rather spend my money and put it in a savings account. I'd rather save my money and pay off a debt faster. I'd rather save my money and spoil my snazzy. But that's the cost. Now there are other costs that I might talk about in other videos, like the emotional cost. about the work. You know, eating incorrectly cost me my businesses. I'm a firm believer that if I was eating this way and my inflammation was lower and my pain was lower and my brain was clearer, I'd still have my bar and grill. You know, but I was in such a bad health spot. I didn't have the ability to save it. What are you growling at? My kitty's growling. You hear it? Happy Halloween, my black kitty. So anyway, that's my take today on the cost of an inappropriate diet. If you're saying if your excuse for not doing it is just because you can't afford to eat healthy, watch this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll help you see how this really does save you so much money. So much money. Anyway, I've got things to do. I got chicken cooking and I've got to go to my folks' house. So, love you. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Stay warm and dry. Bye bye.